Thanks to everyone who's joining us today. We're here at RE Technology are really excited to have you and talking about one of our absolute favorite topics is mobile and paperless. And as we enter into the year of 2013, it's really important for every agent and broker to think about the way they're going to truly leverage mobile and paperless in a bigger and better way than ever. They're both absolutely critical, and they change the way people can do real estate. They can be out on the road and can be actually selling a house sitting in a Starbucks today. It's a whole different world than we lived in the past. So I'm excited to introduce two of our favorites here, Mike Pressnall and Glenn Shimkus. Mike is the business development manager for DocuSign and one of the absolute leaders in this space. They've really driven all of the innovation that's come in the electronic signature area. And Glenn Shimkus, CEO and co-founder of Cartavi, another very exciting product, and we're going to have them tell you more about it in just 1 second. Mike, can I turn it over to you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So if you want to introduce a little bit about DocuSign, and Glenn will do the same, and then we're going to have just a quick poll, and then we'll get into looking at the whole presentation.
Great, thanks. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited to be here, and thanks for taking time with us today. I guess one of the first things that I always want to start off any webinar is with a question, which is why are you here today? And that's hopefully to make your lives a little bit faster, easier for your clients, and differentiate you from those around you. And you can do that with our two products today. DocuSign's been around for quite a while now, and we are the global leader in e-signatures. We own about 82%, I believe, of the space when it comes to signing documents. We have 60,000 new signers every single day who are signing documents with DocuSign, which is pretty exciting. So if you're questioning, is now the right time, is this legal, are people doing this? The answer is absolutely yes. We can be found pretty much anywhere that you need to sign a document. And the cool thing is DocuSign can be used outside of just the real estate transaction. So I use it personally for my son when I'm signing off on permission slips for him to go on field trips. I used it for when I was renting out my house. I mean, you could use it literally for anything that you're doing. We're getting some background noise. I don't know if somebody can mute who's not on right now. That'd be great. But really, it's designed to make your world incredibly easy, and that's what we do, and we do it incredibly well in the safest and secure possible way for you to do it. One last little thing that I'll leave you with that I think is pretty darn cool. So you can obviously use this on your PC and your Mac, but the other really kind of neat thing is you can actually sign now in 39 different countries, and we can send in about 8 or 9, I got to double check that number, but 8 or 9 different countries as well. So some pretty exciting things happening here at DocuSign, and excited to kind of share with you a little bit more about how we're partnering with Cartavi and the great things we're doing with them. Thank you.
And Glenn, if you could just give us a bit of an overview of what your product does and your company does, that would be great. Thank you.
You bet. So I'll just actually second what Mike said about DocuSign. So Cartavi is about helping real estate professionals be mobile and go paperless, but we also live it ourselves. And we, when you talk about different countries, so we closed our some financing last fall. And when we did that, we actually did all of it through Cartavi, and everything was electronically signed through DocuSign. And interestingly enough, one of our investors actually signed from Dubai, which I thought was a pretty cool thing. So,
oh, that's awesome.
You know,
I didn't know that. That's pretty sweet. Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Really, it was really cool. And so in terms of Cartavi, Cartavi is a solution that was created to help real estate professionals manage all of the documents and people associated with their transactions. And so I'm the husband of a realtor. And my wife, when she became a realtor a couple years ago, I started seeing all the challenges that she had firsthand in getting documents to and from people when it was related to a transaction, and getting documents signed, and having to run out at 8 o'clock at night and drive 40 minutes to get a signature, and then drive home, and then fax it to somebody else. And so I saw that firsthand, and really Cartavi's a solution that was really aimed at helping real estate professionals get all of the documents, all the people in one place, and be able to manage everything from wherever they are, whether it's your phone, your tablet, your computer, and to make it all really simple so that you can enhance the experience for your client or your colleague that you're working with on a transaction.
That's great. I bet your wife is very happy that you did that for her, huh?
Yeah, that's my shoe closet. That's what I always tell her. It's my shoe closet to her because I'm not very good at building things, but I can do that.
She must have a very large shoe closet. Okay, before we jump in, I just had a couple of opening questions. We're going to put up a poll onto the screen, and if you guys could answer this for us. We just, out of curiosity, wanted to know how many of you that are on the call today are using DocuSign and are also using Cartavi. So we're going to pull up a poll, and you can answer that for us. So if you could go to the first one, do you use DocuSign today? Just tell us if yes, no, or I want to get started, or it's one of my favorite tools. Of course, if you all say that, they'll be very happy. Okay. Why don't we go to our next question now? Okay, do you use Cartavi today? This is really helpful for when you answer these because they have a better idea of who's here and how much to tailor their message to current users. So thank you so much for doing this. Okay, thank you. So now we're going to go back over to Glenn and to Mike and take it away, guys.
Excellent. So thank you for that. So what we're going to do at this point is really talk, and actually not talk, but show you how what Cartavi does firsthand, show you what DocuSign does firsthand, and really importantly, show you how they work together seamlessly for you so that you can get deals done. And so, you know, again, back to the premise here is that when you're dealing with a real estate transaction, you've got a lot of different people on both sides of the transactions. There's a lot of needs for documents, and those documents need to be shared between various folks. And so the solution we have today, and we'll focus, of course, we'll make sure we have a strong focus on mobile, but again, it's web as well as mobile, and that's phone and tablet. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually slide over here so that you can actually see my screen. And this is Cartavi. And what I want to do is show you, a couple of examples here. So if you could get the transaction, these are all of my active transactions. And what we've tried to do with Cartavi is make it very simple and mobile and secure. And so one of the things you'll see is that when you deal with Cartavi, everything's very visual. These are all of my transactions that I'm currently working on. And then, of course, I have all of my history of every transaction I've ever done is in Cartavi. It's all here. It's maintained. It's searchable. And it's there forever, by the way. A lot of, we don't ever delete documents. We don't ever delete your transaction rooms. They're here. So for the sake of argument, let's say we have a transaction that we are working on for 2133 Pueblo Court. I can actually go into this particular transaction room in Cartavi, and then I can, again, see the documents, the people that are a part of this particular transaction. And so now let's just say today what I need to do is I need to add Angel, who is the realtor on the other side of the transaction, and Debbie to this particular transaction room, and I need to add an attorney. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to the People tab, and I am going to invite our attorney. So let's just say that this is Thomas Kincaid, and let's just say Thomas K at Cartavi.com. And in this particular case, let's just say that he is the escrow officer and he is on the buy side. So if someone, again, I can invite someone who may not be using Cartavi today, or I'm not sure if they are, into Cartavi. But I can also add people I've worked with before. And again, trying to make it very simple and very visual. All I do is click Add here, and you'll see on your screen here. So I can now see the folks that are in here, and if I want to add Debbie, all I would do is, and again, these are all the people in the transaction. I start typing in Debbie, and there she is. And I can see that Debbie is the appraiser, and she is on the buy side of this transaction. And I can invite her. And then what happens now is once the people are in the room, and again, the goal is invite everybody into this transaction room. And again, you can see here, Lori's on the left side. She's the attorney. Debbie is B for buy side. She's the appraiser. We also have Samantha, loan officer, on the buy side. So you can invite people in, and then you can start sharing with people. And so here, what I need to do is I need to add two documents that I just got. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add them, and it's literally like attaching them to an email. So I'm going to click Browse, and I need to add my floor plan, and I need to add my plat of survey. So here they are, and I'm simply going to add them to this particular room. And I'm going to upload them. And so now these two documents have been added to the transaction room. And again, back to the notion of Cartavi being simple, when it's important to really understand that when a document's in a room, nobody knows it exists until you, as the person who added the document to the transaction room, decide who you want to see this document. So again, not everyone in the room sees every document. And so let's give an example here. Right now, we've got 9 different documents. And this is for Glenn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide over here, and you can see Angel in this particular transaction room only has 3 documents. And so what I'm going to do is go back to Glenn. And now what I want to do is I want to share one of the documents that I just added, the plat of survey, with Angel. So I'm clicking on the document, and I'm going to click on Access. And now I see here are the people in the room. And you'll notice this document, which I just added, everybody is a no. So nobody has access to this document. I just added it. Now I need to determine who I want to see the document. So I can go in here, and I can now say Angel sees the document. Okay? And so now let's go back over here really quick to Angel. If I refresh the screen as Angel, you'll notice now that Angel has access to this plat of survey. And so I can actually see now that Angel has access to that document. So again, the key is invite people into the transaction room and to be able to share with people. Now, let's face it, not everyone is using Cartavi. Not everyone's comfortable with technology. And there's all these discussions about, bringing everything online and making it all digital. The reality is it doesn't work that way. We need to have transitionary paths. You may have attorneys that you're working with that prefer fax, and they really want documents faxed to them, and they want to fax to you. And you may have other people that have documents electronically and want to email them back and forth. And so you can invite everybody into this transaction room in Cartavi, and you can share if someone's in the room, and they can add documents and share with you. But the reality is, if someone's not, you can still email them the document. So let's just say attorney@cartavi.com, and I can put my own message in here and send that particular document. And I can also fax. So if I want to fax here, I could send it to 858-380-3675, and I can say that this is going to Paul K. And I can fax that along there. And so I know what's going on, and I have the ability to work with people in a manner that they're comfortable working with. And so what's going to happen now is I have the ability to not only see what's going on, but I know what's happening as it's happening. So on my particular devices that I'm going to show you here, this is, let me see here, this is my phone. So I know that this particular person viewed the document. So when I just shared this particular document with Angel, I know what's happening as it's happening. So if I go back over here to my plat of survey, I can see in here that I shared it with Angel. I also can see I faxed it and emailed it. And I can also see that Angel viewed that document. So part of it is not just understanding, like, being able to share the document, but it's knowing who's doing what with the document as it's happening. And so that's really important to us. Now, that's wonderful, right, that I can do this from wherever I am on my computer. And again, it's Mac or PC. But where it takes it to the next level, again, what we talk about today is mobile. And so what I'm going to do here is go over to my mobile. Let me get something out of the way here. So now you can actually see this is my iPad and this is my iPhone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Cartavi on my iPhone, and I'm going to click on Cartavi on my iPad, and it brings up Cartavi. Now, some of you may be using Cartavi already, and you'll realize that what you're going to see here is that it's actually, oh, let's see, I see there's a delay in the screen here, so let's see. Just want to make sure that you can actually see what I see. So Mike or Melissa, can you see actually my screen? What I'm seeing right now is that I see my devices, but you can't.
I see your iPad and your phone.
And you just see them like with my apps?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like my screen is, or the sharing is frozen right now. Because if I'm switching back and forth, everything is showing. So if we could do this really quick, if you could make me the, let's see if there's something else. if you could make me or remove me from the presenter. Oh, hold on, Maitland. Let's try that one thing here. For whatever reason, my screen is not, you're not seeing what I'm seeing here. So let me try one thing. I apologize for that. Okay, so we are, I just unshared, and let me see here if you can see again. Gotta love technology. When it works well, it's great. When it doesn't work well, it can be quite the challenge.
A good thing you don't have to share your screen live when you're working with Cartavi, right?
Glenn, I'm going to say this has never ever happened to me at a very important moment, so I feel
there you go. You got it. We're in.
There we go. We're good.
Yay!
The magic of technology. So sorry about that. So now you can see my screen. This is my iPhone and my iPad. What I'm going to do is I'm going to log into Cartavi. And you'll notice, for those of you familiar with Cartavi, this is actually brand new. This is going to be submitted to the App Store here shortly, where you actually can use a passcode without having to log into Cartavi. And so now what I'm going to do is, let's say somebody calls me, right, when I'm on the go, and I need to get the inspection report, right? So my clients need the inspection report, or I need to do something with it. So from wherever I am, again, back to the theme here, mobile and paperless, I have access to all of my transaction rooms. So if I go on my phone here, and I can find the transaction room for, let's see here, 2133 Pueblo Court is at the end there. And I can see the documents that are a part of that transaction. And you can see who's calling me. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to 2133 Pueblo Court on my tablet. And again, so I can see all of my documents from wherever I am. So if I need to get that floor plan to my clients, so I'm going to go look at the floor plan on my phone, and I'm going to view that particular document, and there it is. And so now what I want to be able to do is I need to be able to share this particular document, so I'm going to click Access, and I want my clients to see it. So my clients in this case are Kevin and Jen, so I'm going to say, Kevin and Jen, you now have access to that document. So from wherever I am, if someone calls me with a request, I can take care of that particular request for that document, for that particular transaction. Same thing holds true on the tablet. So I can get to a document, and let's say that I need the mortgage pre-approval letter, and I need to send it to the attorney. I can click Mortgage Pre-Approval Letter, and there's the document on my tablet. Of course, I can make it full screen. I can, rotate and do all the things. I can see what's actually going on here, activity-wise with the document. If I click the key, if I wanted to share with somebody in the room, I could share with that person. But I can also, if you'll notice down at the bottom, I can actually email and I can fax to people. And it's, again, back to simple. It's doing things like, if someone's in my local contact list, I can actually scroll through there. I can say Nate here, and I put it in, and I can email. And I can also fax from wherever I am. So all of my documents are at my fingertips. And again, that's the real key here, and the real power is having everything at your fingertips so that you can take action from wherever you are. You don't have to be chained to your computer. And again, as the husband of a realtor, I know that you're not sitting in front of your computer all the time. So now I can share documents with you, again, if I wanted to. So imagine now you're out and about and someone emails you a document, and it's for a transaction room. So I can go in here, and I can look at this second document. So I just got notified that my fax arrived. I can look at that particular document and say, okay, yep, that's the inspection reply. I can rename it. So what I'm going to do is, again, I just got this email to me while I'm out, or fax, inspection reply, and I'm going to save that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that to my transaction room. So again, not only can I send documents from wherever I am, but I can also receive them. So I'm going to move it to an active transaction room. And here's 2133 Pueblo Court. And what I'm going to do, before I go back and show you that, down here you can actually see you have an email address and a fax number for your inbox, which you have access to, again, on your phone or on your tablet. And now, again, following through with this example, if I go to 2133, I can see this particular document that I just moved into here. So there's my inspection reply. And I can now, again, make sure that Jen and Kevin have access to that document that I just received from the attorney. Now that's well and good, but now let's get to real fun here, incorporating the DocuSign piece in here, because it's not just about sharing documents, it's how do you get them signed, right? How do we get documents and move this through fruition? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to focus, and I am going to get rid of my phone, and I'm going to make the screen larger for my tablet so you can really see that. So let's do that. And let me turn off my tablet and turn it back on. So now we've got front and center on my tablet. So now let's give an example. Is that I'm expecting a fax, right? It's an agreement, and I'm going to need to basically, it's an offer that I need to get over to my sellers to accept the offer. And I'm waiting on a fax to come in. And when that fax comes in, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to get it DocuSigned. And so what I want to be able to do here is work from wherever I am. And so Cartavi and DocuSign are integrated solutions. So right within Cartavi, you can actually, so there we go. So there's the fax that just came in here. So I got a new fax. Again, I'm sitting at a Starbucks. I'm in my car. I'm wherever I am. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to my inbox, and there's the fax that just arrived. So I'm going to click on this. Is this the purchase agreement? Okay. This is what I was waiting on. Here's my purchase agreement. Let me just blow it up so you can see here. Michael and Samantha, Kevin and Jen, $375 is the offer. And what I'm going to do now is I need to get my clients to sign this. So what I'm going to do is I am going to rename this, and then I'm going to move it to my transaction. I'm going to say final offer, and I'm now going to move that to the transaction room, and it's going to be moved to the transaction room for 2133 Pueblo. So there it is. And so that offer, if I go into my transaction room here for I was in 2133, so let's go back here. And here's my final offer. And I need to get this document signed. I got to send it out to Kevin and Jen. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click e-signatures at the top. And by the way, everything I'm showing you here, I could be doing on my computer as well. But seeing I'm on the go and we're talking about mobile, let's do this from the tablet. So I'm going to click plus down in the bottom corner, and I'm going to create a new DocuSign envelope. And I'm going to say this is offer for 2133. And now what I need to do, I'm sure you're all familiar with it. If you've used DocuSign, I need to send a note out. So I'm going to say this is offer for e-sign. Call me with any questions. I'm going to save that. And now what do I need to do? I need to figure out what documents need to be signed. So I'm going to click Select Documents. And again, instead of showing you your hard drive or this big list of documents, we're saying here's the documents relevant and specific to this particular transaction. And right here is my final offer. And I'm going to say that's the document I wanted. Oops, selected the wrong one. Final offer, there we go. And I could select one or multiple documents if I wanted to. In this case, I just want my final offer. I need to select who's going to sign it. And again, the context here is this real estate transaction. So I can see up top Angel, he's with Coldwell Banker, he's the real estate agent on the buy side. I can see Jen and Kevin, they're my sellers. So I need them to sign. So I'm going to click Sign here, and I'm going to click Sign here. So they're now signing. And there we go. So I've got my envelope. Now what I need to do is I need to submit and tag this. So I'm going to click Submit to DocuSign. I'm sealing the envelope in Cartavi, and in a sense we're handing it off to DocuSign, but it's being done without ever leaving the Cartavi iPad app. So now, if you're familiar with DocuSign, if you've ever seen it, this is where we tag who needs to do what. And you can see up at the top, Kevin and Jen are the ones that need to sign. On the left over here, you can see that these are the actions that need to be done. And again, here's the offer that we just got in via fax. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down below, and I'm going to have Jen is going to need to initial. So initial here. Actually, here's seller. And now I'm going to select Kevin. And Kevin needs to initial as well. So Kevin's going to initial down there. And then I shorten this document up by quite a few pages for anyone who's seen these long agreements, which you guys live by. They're surprisingly long to me. But so now what I'm going to do is I need Kevin to sign. So I'm going to put Kevin's signature right there. and now I'm going to put Jennifer's signature here. So Jen signs here. So now I've got it, and it's tagged. And, of course, you could put dates on here as well. So let's just put our date signed right here. So now I've tagged the document or documents that need to be signed by one or multiple parties. And I'm going to go ahead and send that out. And DocuSign is asking me now, do you want to preview it? And I'm saying, no, let's just go ahead and send it out. And you'll notice momentarily here, let's see when the screen catches up. There we go. You can see now I'm getting just a little message saying it's been sent out. So I am going to do two things. I'm going to show you a signature of DocuSign via email, and I'm going to show you one on a device. So let's go to my email. And here we go. So you'll notice up at the top of here, my email, I have an email. It's for Jen, and Jen's being told she needs to sign. So Jen at Cartavi. She's going to click Review Documents, and this is, again, DocuSign is not only the leader in e-sign technology in real estate, but they're the leader in just about every single industry out there, if not every industry, and there's a reason. It's a secure technology, it's highly mobile, and it's really easy to use. And, there's a lot of people out there that, can you just basically use some sort of tool to sign it? Well, the reality is when you're dealing with real estate contracts that are large, it's not about the signing, it's about the enforceability. And so DocuSign does an amazing job of not only securing and making sure everything's protected and locked down, but also it has a rich history so it knows who signed, where they signed, what IP address, and again, it's not just about the signing, it's about enforceability, and that's where DocuSign absolutely excels. So
hey, Glenn.
This person,
Glenn.
and Jen says, Mike?
Yeah, can I hop in for 2 seconds?
You bet.
One comment I'd make, that the email that you receive, you're not actually signing the documents out on the internet. You're actually, when you click on that, you're being invited, and the users don't know this, but you're being invited behind our secure firewalls and our safety. So when it comes to security, Glenn was talking about that, we have the best in the industry, so you know that it is enforceable. We have that rich history, as Glenn was saying, but the fact that you're not signing documents out on the internet somewhere makes us even safer. And I really wanted to point that out because it's something that some people get concerned about when it comes to, this is likely one of the most and largest purchases for someone's life. They want to make sure that they do it in the most legal way possible. That was my 2 cents. Go ahead.
You got it. And Mike, just to show on screen what I have here is it's showing it. It's actually DocuSign, and it's a secure site. It's trusted here. It's sealed. And so,
awesome.
Again, just to reinforce that.
Thanks,
so now, in this case, Jen is going to go ahead and sign the document. And again, this is the simplicity of it. What do we need to do? If Jen's never signed anything electronically, that's okay. She clicks Start. And it's going to walk her through what needs to get done. So here's the first initial. And it says, here's the initial. And she clicks on it. And, this is basically the font or style of her signing. And Jen may say, you know what, I like this one here, and select that one. And you can see now it says, here's what the signature will look like, and here's what the initials will look like. And so she's going to go ahead and adopt that as her signature. And so it's now applied. Yep.
Yeah, sorry. So really quick, one last thing I wanted to point out. The auto navigation piece is one of our features that we get talked about most from agents that they love, because it allows them to be able to obviously go where they need to sign next. In fact, I had an 89-year-old woman sign from her bed, and she called it the clickety-click, right? Because it literally takes you to the next spot, right? There's no more leaving my house at 10 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock for missing signatures. I literally have to click on that, and the document's not signed until all of those spots are chosen. I just wanted to add that little story because I liked it. I like the clickety-click. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I like clickety-click as well. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to finish the signing here. So there we go. So Jen has now done, and you'll notice now it says confirm signing. And so now Jen gets over here, and she's done. And so let me go back over here. So we can close that down. So Jen finished what she needs to do. But remember, we've got one other person that needs to sign now. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over to my mobile device here. So here's my iPad, and we're going to show you what the signing looks like, because the signing with DocuSign can be done from your phone, it can be done from your tablet, or it can be done from your computer. Whether it's Mac or PC, it doesn't matter. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my email on my device here, and let's go to my email. So right now we're going to get here, Kevin has gotten an email as well. And so Kevin's going to say sign. And again, Kevin is taken to a secure place. We can see it's green. It's got the little lock here. It's green. It's enforced and entrusted here. So Kevin says, I agree to do business. And again, because my company is Cartavi, it shows Cartavi. If it was, Williams Real Estate Professionals, it would say Williams Real Estate Professionals here. And so Kevin's going to review the document. And again, back to where DocuSign shines above and beyond anybody is in that security. And so not only does DocuSign know the IP address of the computer, the email address that was accessed from, if it's on a mobile device, it literally knows down to the GPS coordinates of where the person was when they signed. So in this case, we're going to say allow, and we're going to click, again, up here next. We have the flashing initials, and now check this out, which I love. You click initial, and now it brings up, because it knows it's a device you can sign on and touch. So Kevin just says, hey, that's my initials, and I'm going to adopt that. That's my signature, and you'll see here, that's applied, or let me show you back up here. It's applied right there. And so now I can click my next one, and I can say it's Kevin T. So there's my signature. I didn't do very well in handwriting, so that's the best I've got for you. But now you can see, so now Kevin is done, and he clicks finished. So now the two parties that we needed to sign have signed that particular document. And so let's just close this out. Let's go back to Cartavi. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to log back in here. Oh, there we go. So there's my offer. And you'll notice here it's sent for signature, right? And it's going to show that update. And momentarily, we're going to get a notification. So I did those back to back. As each person signing, you're going to get notifications driven through Cartavi that tell you what's happening and who's doing what for that particular document. So you know what's going on as it's happening, and you don't have to worry about, who signed, who hasn't signed in that particular transaction. So while that's kind of coming back here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you another example. So that's if I get something and I need to have people sign remotely. That's the DocuSign in here. And Mike, did you have something you wanted to add? Nope, okay.
Yeah, sorry. So, I'm not sure if you said this or not, but if you did, I apologize. But when it comes to the documents themselves, where they're coming from, within DocuSign, if you're pulling anything, you can pull any type of document, Word, JPEG, TIFF, picture, you name it, Excel, and we take and automatically switch it into a PDF. So there's no work that needs to be done in that way. So it's not you have to come in with a small PDF or convert something to a PDF. It automatically takes place. Or if you want to say automagically does it for you, you can.
And here's the nice thing for you, Mike, is that sounds like we've got something loud here. Well, can you guys hear me okay? I hear that.
Are you weed whacking or mowing the lawn right now, or that's what it
I hear that too. All right, so there we go.
It's gotten better.
So,
we're good.
So believe it or not, in our office, so we are in an office space, and directly above us is our new office space. And guess what? They're working on our new office space today.
That's awesome.
So what happened is, while Mike was speaking, if you look at my screen, it says Kevin has signed. I don't need to worry, has Kevin signed, has Jen signed. If I go back in here now to 2133, I can see right back in here, where was my final offer? There's my final offer document. And again, just to show you, that document, here's my initials from DocuSign. Here's my signatures. So that document is automatically, when it's fully executed, put back into Cartavi. It's automatically shared with the participants that need to have access. And now I can say, you know what, I need the other agent to see this, and I can do that. And of course, if I wanted to fax it to the other attorney, I could fax it to them. But beyond that, again, back to it's not just about the signing. That's the easy part. It's about the enforceability. Here's my certification from DocuSign that attests to that signing process and gives me the details of who signed, when they signed, where they signed, is also added into Cartavi and automatically shared. And again, I can see now that my envelope's complete. Well, what about this situation, though? That's if someone's away from me. What if I need to have someone sign in person? I can actually go in here, and so I'm in My Docs in Cartavi, and in here I could have whatever documents I want. So in this case, I've got my sell-side templates. and I can have my mold disclosure. And, oh, here we go. We're drilling again upstairs. So I can click here, open, and now I can open that into something like PDF Expert, and I can fill in that document from wherever I am. So again, I could put Kevin and Jen, and I can fill it out, and I can move it right back to Cartavi. So now let's say we've got that document that is done and back in my transaction room, but I need to have it signed by people here that are here with me right now. So again, I just would literally move that document when I'm done with it back into Cartavi. Here it is, and here I need Kevin and Jen, who are sitting right by me, to sign it. So what I'm going to do is now, instead of sending it out through an envelope, I'm going to use this great tool called DocuSign Inc. So now I just say DocuSign Inc., and it's going to ask me, get a signature. So now what I'm going to do is just type in here Jen Thompson. She's in my local contact list. And Kevin. Let's see, is Kevin in my list here too? I got a lot of Kevins in there. So there's Kevin Thompson. So there's my signers. And I'm going to host the signing. Literally doing this from my iPad right in front of my sellers. So here it is. I'm going to say Jen's ready to sign. So Jen, begin signing. And so we're going to scroll down here. There you go. So now what we need to do is Jen's going to literally drag down here, signature, and she's going to draw her signature. Jen T. And she's done. There, and she's going to put her date here. And she's done. So that's all we needed from Jen. So she's confirmed. She's done. Now we need to have Kevin sign it. So Kevin, begin signing. And here it comes, just loading up. There you go. You can see it on the screen now. So Kevin's going to scroll down. Kevin's going to sign right below Jen. Draw your signature. Kevin. And there we go. There's Kevin's signature. Kevin's going to date. And Kevin's done. So both people did what I needed to do. Well, I guess I should have probably had them initial their check backs. So now it says pass the iPad right back to Glenn, who's hosting it. Now it says, well, what do you want to do with this mold disclosure? And I'm going to say open it. And I want to open it, guess where? Right back into Cartavi. So let's do my code here. And where do I want to put it? Well, I'm going to put it in an active transaction room for 2133, Pueblo Court. And so now if I go back into that room, there's my mold disclosure. Again, we took it from Cartavi, we filled it in, we signed it via DocuSign, and now what we're going to do is we're going to make sure Lori, our attorney, gets it, and we're going to fax it to the other attorney. And again, that's a perfect example here of using DocuSign, whether it's sending it off to get signatures by people that aren't right with you, or to be able to sign in person. Mike, did you want to add anything to that? Probably on mute, that's okay. And so really that's what we're trying to show you here today is, again, how to be mobile and paperless and be able to use tools like Cartavi as well as DocuSign. And the great news, I think, for everybody is they're put together. Whether you're using DocuSign Inc., you can easily get back and forth with Cartavi on your phone or your tablet. And the same holds true on the web. You can use the web and the tablet. You can use the full-blown DocuSign if you need to have something sent out to sign. So now I think we're ready to do Q&A.
Yes, if anybody has any questions, you see on the right-hand side of your screen, you can type those in for us. We've already received a few, but if anybody else has questions, feel free to send them our way. And maybe I'll start with a couple while we're waiting for some other folks to fill in. A couple of things struck me when we were watching it today that both products I think are just fantastic. They're both easy to use. They're both built for exactly the process that realtors already go through, so it's really neat. But one small one, I assume this is correct, but do both products work with Android as well as iPhones and Mac?
Yes, so for Cartavi works on the PC and on the Mac, all the major browsers. And there's a native app, and I think that's really important because you can use things like GPS, you can take pictures with the camera. On the phone, you can even call. So Cartavi today is a native app for the iPhone, the iPad. The iPad's been out for a year. The iPhone's been out for 2.5 years. Android phone, which has been out for 2 years, and Android tablet, which has been out for 6 months. And Mike, did you want to answer for DocuSign?
Yeah. So all the above, yes. We we were first in the space for the iPad, and everything that Glenn said, I echo. So we are on all applications as well.
And we just got a question, too, about Windows. Do you guys work on Windows Mobile?
So for Cartavi, the answer today is you can go onto the browser on the device. Interestingly enough, we actually have a new release coming out next month that a lot of people, you may hear the word responsive. So we've actually rewritten Cartavi on the web to be responsive so that when you go onto Cartavi.com, our app on a device that we don't have an app for, like a Windows phone, our app will actually, the web app will be actually optimized for the device. And then if you go on a Surface tablet, for example, it'll be different. It'll be optimized for that. So that even includes new things like the BlackBerry 10 that are coming. We've actually taken the time, so if we don't have an app for it, our web app will be optimized for that experience. Mike?
Yeah, so web only right now for us. I'm not sure of the details of when our release is for additional, but as of right now, web only.
Okay.
Yeah. Say that again. Yeah, it's not. Not on the Windows phone. Correct. Yeah.
There's another question. I'm going to come back. We just got one that's coming in. We're trying to interpret how to ask it so that you can answer it. But I saw when you were going through the demonstration that there was active room and a closed transaction room or folders. I don't know how you refer to them as when you went through one of the screens. So when I have a closed transaction, I think in many states you have to save your documents for what, up to 7 years? Maybe it's longer in some states. I'm not sure. In those closed transactions, can they stay in there for that long? So 7, 10, whatever years it might be that people have to keep them legally?
Yeah. So not only here, if you see my screen here, this is a refi that I did. Gosh, probably 2 years ago. Every document I have is in here, and I know who looked at the document. And I know when they looked at it, and we keep it forever. It's not a matter of like 2 years, 5 years, 7 years. Until you, as the person who created the room or own the document, get rid of it, it's there.
And then I can just make my broker be one of the people that get the document so that they can keep it as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So I can go in the case of 2133 here. And here's the nice thing. If I need to share multiple documents with a person, don't go to the document. Go to the person. So we added, for example, who do we add? Let's say Rod Harris here. If I go to activity for Rod, I can just check off the documents. I don't have to go document by document. I can actually go to the person, see what they have access to, see what they've done, and then share in that manner.
Gotcha. Okay, so there was a question about the faxing process itself. So does some of the purchases, the Cartavi DocuSign collection, do they need to have a separate fax number for that, or is there sort of an e-fax tool built in, or how does that work?
Yeah, so the electronic fax is actually built in. So right now I'm on my inbox, and again, you can say inbox on there, or you can say inbox on the web, and you can see that you have your own fax number. And so when you create your Cartavi account, we auto-assign that, and then you're given a fax number. In this case, mine's 858-380-3674. Anything faxed to that number automatically ends up in my Cartavi inbox. And not only do I have my fax number so I can receive faxes, I can actually send my faxes from my phone or tablet from wherever I am. And again, the key here is like, don't force the issue. Invite someone to Cartavi. If they don't want to use it, that's fine. You can still fax an email to them. They can fax an email to you. And the reality is you're still using one tool to do all of that.
Gotcha. Here's an interesting question. So the person's asking, they know that the forms that are provided by their board or local MLS are trademarked for the state and licensed by the state. If an agent or a broker decides to use this, do they have any issue getting hold of those forms and populating them into the system?
No, so we actually work with these in a manner that the big key there is not necessarily having the forms, it's being able to auto-input data into the forms other than through like a certain tool. And so with Cartavi, if you have a PDF, you can put that PDF without issue into Cartavi, for example, into your MyDocs, and have it available from wherever you are. That's not an issue. The issue becomes if it was created in a certain forms tool, and then that document cannot be updated unless it's through that forms tool or filled in.
Okay, thank you. That actually leads to one of the other questions that was here. For many states and local areas, people are using zip forms as their forms document. If you're using DocuSign in zip forms, can you also use DocuSign in Cartavi?
So, so can you use zip with DocuSign and Cartavi?
Uh-huh.
I just want to make sure I've got the question right. So the answer is yeah. So literally today, if you create a zip form document, you can actually either email it into Cartavi, and then it ends up in your inbox, and you can move it to your transaction room. Or if you're using, for example, the zip forms app on your device, you can actually open that document and save it right into the transaction room in Cartavi. So we have a very good relationship with zip forms, and I think you'll see more in the coming weeks ahead in terms of our relationship with zip. But the reality is, Cartavi, zip, and DocuSign is a great combination that works well together.
Gotcha. Here's a question about the security a little bit. How do I know the correct person is signing the document? So let's say you were talking about that virtual signing process, for example. How would I know that it's really Jen that's signing it and not somebody else?
Mike, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, you bet, buddy. Great question. So, I always like to start off first with it actually, in my opinion, I think electronic signing is more secure now than if I were to meet someone at Starbucks, right? So if I meet someone at Starbucks, how do I know I'm really Mike Pressnall? What do I have? Do I show them my license? How do I know that license is valid? There's a lot of steps to take place. But what we do with DocuSign, we've got a couple different levels in there. The first one is when I'm going to email or invite someone to sign documents using DocuSign, I'm going to email them to a Hotmail, a Gmail account, an Outlook, something that's got a password on it that only they are going to know. And from there, as Glenn was kind of pointing out, we've got steps, and throughout the steps, where they're signing the consumer disclosure agreement, when they're adopting a signature, all those steps are taken and were saved on the certificate screenshot here that you can see that there's the IP address, the time and date stamp, the document's still encrypted. There's all these different things. But on top of that, we actually do location as well, which Glenn mentioned. You, in addition, if let's say you don't know the person, you haven't worked with them, there's additional levels we put in there where you could do an ID check. So let's say I've got an out-of-state buyer, I don't know the person. We're going to ask them something about, we're going to sign them up to receive this ID check, so they're going to get questions in regards to their life history. So not what's your social security, what's your mom's maiden name. It's going to be things to the effect of, what street address did you live at in college, and give you 5 answers that are incredibly close to one another. And you're going to get 5 questions that are probably going to challenge you mentally. If you're a little bit older like I am, you're going to have a hard time remembering some of these things, but you've got to get 5 out of 7 of these correct to validate who you are. Additionally, since we do a lot of work outside of the country, we also have phone authentication. So if I'm out of country and I want to validate, we can't use public records to do that, so we can sign you up for that. What's going to happen is you're going to receive an email. It's going to ask you to put your phone number into that. You put your phone number in. Once you put your phone number in, it's going to say call now. Your phone's going to ring, and you're going to be asked to put in an access code. Once you put the access code, they're going to capture your voice authentication, save that, and then give you access to documents. So we take it pretty far when it comes to the security measures we've put in place to validate the user. And then, we've got a couple other things in place as well, but we really have done everything we can to validate in multiple ways who's signing the documents.
That's great.
Did that answer that question? Was that helpful?
Yeah, I think so. How many countries do you now reciprocate with to be able to use signatures?
So you can sign in 39 different countries as of today, and you can send out of 8.
That's great. So for anybody on the call that's working with international buyers, that could be terrific, because it's, of course, electronic signature is even more important when you're 5,000 miles away, so that's wonderful. And
yeah.
I think you said this number up front, Mike, but just to remind us, how many signatures a day are you seeing come through the system now?
Yeah, so we're seeing 60,000 new signers every single day. So that's not people using DocuSign that every single day. That's a new signer. We have 60,000 new signers every single day. So, the question isn't, is this working? It's why aren't you using it if you aren't, right? I mean, this is changing how we function. We'll continue to do so.
That's great. Now, if I have an existing DocuSign account, can I still use it in Cartavi, or do I need to do I work through Cartavi to get a different account?
Yeah, so literally in Cartavi here, you can actually take and plug your existing credentials into Cartavi. So again, showing on the tablet here. Down below, I would simply link my existing DocuSign account to Cartavi.
Oh, okay, great.
And all I want to throw out there is just stay tuned. If you don't have a DocuSign account, stay tuned for some fun announcements between DocuSign and Cartavi coming up.
Oh, come on, tell us right now. Give it to us first. What is it? Here's another one, too. Is there a broker version of the Cartavi DocuSign product?
Yeah, so that's actually coming. We're working on that now, and that will be out this summer. And what we're doing is layering on all of the things that a broker needs above and beyond Cartavi. You know, what we really focus on first and foremost is getting this right for the agent so that they're going to use it and gain value from it. And now what we're really focused on is making sure that we add the functionality right on top of that. Same simple, same secure, same mobile, but really make sure that it's now adding additional value for the broker.
Gotcha. So when you invite your buyers into the system, or even some of your partners do any of them have to pay for the system, or does it come under your subscription?
Yeah, so everyone who's invited to Cartavi gets a free subscription by default. We don't, when I would invite Mike, for example, as the seller or the agent or the attorney, Mike gets an invitation, and what happens at that point is literally Mike clicks on a link, says create my free account. He literally would put in his company name and his password, and he's off and running. We don't talk about plans. We don't ask for credit cards. So anyone that's invited to Cartavi goes right into a free account, and if at some point they see value and like to upgrade their account, they can do so, but it's independent of your account.
Okay, we're just getting a new question come in. What was it again? Yep. So if you scan or fax a document into the system to begin, to upload a file, how does it know which file to put it in, or do you have to just designate that once it's uploaded? Or can it go into multiple files too? Okay.
So let's see here. This is, for example, this is my inbox right now. Anything emailed or faxed into Cartavi goes into your inbox, and then I can literally just check the document that I want to move, and I can say move these three to 2133, and I can move them. Now, in our next release, which is coming next month, you'll actually be able to email directly into a specific transaction room, so you won't even have to move, take it, get into the inbox, and move it over. So that's coming next month.
Gotcha. Here's just a general question. What you showed us today, I think, is really exciting. That people really, this is showing that the whole concept of a mobile agent is truly, it's here and alive, and it's great for us to do. Can you tell from your usage stats, either DocuSign or Cartavi, how much of your activity is being generated from mobile devices now? Can you tell?
It is astonishing. I mean, honestly, when I look at our numbers, when we dissect, half of our active subscribers are using an iPad or a tablet. I mean, it's just astonishing. Like, I think last time we checked, it was like 55 or 57% of our daily logins were done from our phone or tablet app. And if we look, 63% of our subscribers log into Cartavi via the phone app or the tablet app. I mean, it's just, the reality is something we knew right away, because I live with a realtor and I saw, right? She's a realtor, she's also a mother, she's also a wife, she's also someone in the community, and so she's not sitting at her desk all day. In fact, realtors, that's the job, is not to be at the desk. And so we knew from day one, and from day one, Cartavi was highly mobile, and the same holds true for DocuSign. DocuSign is absolutely mobile, and wherever you are, whether it's your phone or tablet or web, same thing holds true. We know if you're going to be an effective solution for realtors, you have to be where they are, and that's on the go.
Gotcha. And does that same kind of stat hold up for the actual signature? So I'm actually buying the home, sitting in a Starbucks now. Is that really happening?
You bet. Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, if you look at Facebook with Cartavi, and do a search, we had someone who sent us a tweet they signed from the airport waiting to board. They actually sent out the signatures. We had someone that actually did a transaction, Cartavi and DocuSign, where the realtor, very tough situation. She was in Hawaii, but her one client was in Japan and the other client was in South Carolina. And so this is happening all over the place. And that's why, again, with Cartavi and DocuSign, you can actually take the documents from a transaction room, get them tagged, send them out for signature, and you can do from wherever you are. And again, optimized for the tablet, not just a web app running on it, but it's optimized for your devices.
That's great.
This is really quick. I got to just mention this one because it's my favorite one. Whenever I do any shows or conferences, I talk to agents and I ask, where have you signed? And the coolest one I think yet for me was someone on horseback going to the jungle in South America. Pretty cool. Right?
Really
like,
cool.
I mean, that's what you're allowed to do. When I signed my offer letter to start working at DocuSign, I was on the beach in Hawaii underneath a palm tree. I didn't have to go in to find a fax machine. I didn't have to, sign stuff there. I got to sit under the palm tree, read it, and then sign it from there. It was. I think that was the wow moment where I said, this is going to change how people work. Sorry, I just had to share that because it's cool.
So research that
Mike,
you've
I
done at
have
Wave
nothing to compare to that.
Bummer. Sorry for you. The research that we've done at Wave Group from a consumer perspective says that consumers are all over this. They totally get it. Do you see any consumers, or do you have any suggestions for agents that might run into a consumer that doesn't like this idea or is uncomfortable thinking it's not legal or something? Is there tricks or suggestions you'd give to the folks on the call that might have that concern at some point?
Well, first and foremost, I think most important is that both DocuSign and Cartavi are simple. And so whether you're 25 or 75, high-tech, no-tech, it doesn't matter. Literally, if you can open an email, you can use this technology, and I think that's really important. Now, on top of that, one of the things we talk about with Cartavi, and I know DocuSign says this as well, is the reality is you may have someone who's just not comfortable with the technology. And so at Cartavi, again, we say don't force the issue. I do everything electronically when I'm signing, but if I have someone that says I need a fax, with Cartavi, you can take that document, you can get the people who want to sign electronically to do so with DocuSign, and for that one holdout that just wants a fax, that's okay. Send them the fax, they can sign it, and they can fax it back to you, and so you've got that completed transaction, because a lot of people talk about experience, right? And experience is so important here, but it's about the experience for the people you're working with just as much. And if someone's uncomfortable with the technology, that's okay. That's their experience. If they want the fax and they're happy with it, that's terrific.
Gotcha. While we've got you talking again, Glenn, can you explain the offer that's on the screen right now from Cartavi?
Yep. So if you sign up for Cartavi today, you can go to this URL here, cartavi.com/retech, and if you enter retech1301, that's going to allow you to sign up for Cartavi. Instead of for $10 a month for the first 6 months, it'll be $8 a month, so a 20% discount. And then if you sign up for the annual plan, instead of being $99, for the next year it'll be $85. And so, again, if you already have a free account, by the way, when you click Upgrade, simply enter this promo code, and when you upgrade your existing free account, you can actually take advantage of that promo as well. And then, Mike, let me switch over here to DocuSign. You can talk about the DocuSign offer.
Yeah, and Drew is actually going to answer on this one if he's still there.
Actually, I'm still here. I'll finish up here, and then Drew can answer additional questions. So today we're doing a Save 10 on a prepaid annual plan through either our Realtor Edition or DocuSign for Real Estate. So you can take advantage of that if you are a realtor. You'll put in the promo code NAR10, and if you are not a realtor, you can put in REAL10 and receive that 10% discount as well. And I'm going to pass this over to Drew at this point in time for any additional questions.
Okay, we just have one more question that we've gotten in, and then we'll let you guys run. The question is, does Cartavi integrate with any CRM tools or lead management tools?
We do not today. It's something that we're starting to get asked quite a bit, and so it's something we're starting to explore. But we do not integrate with CRM today. We're looking at it, but it's not something, quite frankly, that I expect between now and the summer. At a minimum.
Okay, here's one final question. With Cartavi, if someone works with the transaction coordinator in their office, can they also be part of the file, so when something gets signed, that the transaction coordinator will be notified as well?
Yeah, most definitely. So literally, when someone's in the room, if you just literally from wherever you are, phone or tablet, you can go in here and you can start typing in a name. And if it's someone you've worked with before, so Frank here, I could say is the listing side transaction coordinator, and I can add that person to the room, and then if I go to them, I can literally just start sharing documents, whichever ones I want them to see. And not only am I sharing, but they get notified that I've shared documents with them. So I don't even need to say, hey, Frank, I just shared a bunch of documents with you. They'll know.
And if one of the documents gets signed, can they be added as sort of a CC that once you get notified as the agent that the transaction coordinator will get notified as well?
Yep, so we support the full DocuSign action, so it's not just sign, but you can also acknowledge receipt where someone has to, you know, if I send something to you, you need to open it up and I need proof that you looked at it. But you can also just do a copy, and so you can, you know, sign that person, basically add them to the envelope, and then when they're added to the envelope, they just get automatically notified that it's fully executed, and it would be shared with them in Cartavi, so they literally would have one place to go to be able to view and share that document themselves.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much to everyone who's attended today. Thanks to Cartavi and to DocuSign for bringing us such important information. And feel free to take up on both companies on those great offers, the cartavi.com/retech with the promo code retech1301, or the DocuSign offer of 10% off using the NARTEN or the REALTEN offer. Thank you so much for attending. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.